welcome back to another strange and mysterious podcast. Yeah, Chris, I want to host
Woo!
G. Introduce yourself, sir.
The G Dog here. What up? This is
What
Defiant Triple
up?
Nine, aka the Rat. The Rat. Some people like to call me the Ratoncito if they
There you
tend
go,
towards
el
the
ratoncito,
Spanish variety. The Spanish variety rat.
castellano.
There's something about Ratoncito that rolls off the tongue. I'm not sure what, but it just rolls off the tongue. It takes the animal of the rat and it elevates it, right?
Hey, it's very
I'm also
passionate,
trying
like
to
the
figure out if
Spanish.
it's very passionate. I mean, it's like when I think of the ratoncito, I think of a rat practicing his flamenco dancing with his
Right?
partner, right?
With a rose in his hand.
Also, we're trying to figure out if I'm a good person or not, and I think my wife thinks that I might secretly be a bad person.
What?
Gee, what do you think of
That's
that?
a lie.
Well, well, right, and it's because I'm on a text thread of a bunch of old high school people. My
Yeah.
30th reunion is coming up,
Oh,
right?
nice.
And to be honest, I don't want to go.
Are they trying to get you to go or what?
And I think the reason is, yeah, a bunch of people are trying to get everyone to go, and I don't want to go because I just think I'm a better person than they are. All of them. They're just garbage people.
Hey, when you're
So
better,
does
you
that,
just
that
know
make
it.
me a bad? Does that make me a bad person?
I don't think so.
I think so.
No. Hey, when you
Anyway,
got it, I mean, what can you do? Some
no, some
people
of
are bored to shine, other people are bored to just be on the ground. So
some of them are okay. It's like reminding me in high school why I wasn't part of any of the popular cliques, right?
yeah. Hey, now look at me now, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, the fucking jocks don't want to have anything to do with you. You're not getting invited to any of the jock parties. But
No.
oh wait, we need weed or we need acid. Well, who do we know? Let's go hit up Matt Royball.
Hey,
Like, let's
AKA
go.
El
The
Ratoncito, the
rat.
plug.
Where do they go? They go to the ratoncito, and then So anyway, that's what I'm dealing with. What is up? What do we got today?
Oh, we got a good one. So we have a little story about Travis Walton.
Oh, I'd
So
heard.
it's,
I'd
the
heard.
famous movie
Yep.
Fire in the Sky.
Yep. Yep.
So we're
Yep.
gonna
Yep.
take
Yep.
a kind of a little gander at what happened to poor old boy.
Might be the most famous UFO
Yeah.
abduction in the
It,
history of abductions, at
it's pre
least that I know of.
yeah, it's pretty famous. All right, let's
Okay.
take a look and see.
The story begins on an ordinary day.
Damn, he
A
looks young.
seven-man logging crew packs
Yep.
up after hours of hard work in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest.
It was just a typical day of working hard out there. We worked up until the sun started going down. And by the time we got all loaded up and ready to go, it was getting fairly dark.
The tight-knit crew begins the rough 30-mile drive back home to Snowflake, Arizona. Foreman Mike Rogers is behind the wheel. When the men
You know, it's kind of cool. So the guy doing the voice he used to do the voice for the Haunting series. You ever watch it with the
Oh
ghosts?
yeah. Uh-huh.
It's the same guy
It's the
doing the
same
voice.
guy. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
notice something strange.
We hadn't gone very far. I mean, maybe quarter of a mile. The guy started seeing a light through the trees.
There was a bright light over to the right of us, and we couldn't really tell what it was.
I at first thought it was the moon. I turned, I look over the other way, and there's the moon, you know.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Could it be a hunter's campfire? An airplane crash? The answer is even more terrifying.
Right when you come around that bend, it just hits you all at once.
Yeah,
It was just like a saucer just sitting in the air, not moving.
It was softly glowing.
like from the inside out.
Strange.
22-year-old Travis Walton in the passenger seat startles everyone.
Before Mike even stopped, Travis had that door open and was getting out.
Almost like he was called, huh?
Took off in a fairly brisk walk up towards it. And he stood there for just a few seconds. And this thing started making noise.
Classic shape.
It was shocking.
Saucer.
Very shocking.
I heard this noise, and I go, oh, crap.
I felt this rumble, you know, in the steering wheel. That spooked me.
Here we go, man. Come on, get back in here.
Travis, come back!
We were all terrified.
And all of a sudden, this bluish light came out.
The woods lit up like a bluish green.
It zapped him in the chest. He flies back about 15 feet at least.
Damn. Right, he
His
didn't die.
body bounces off the ground. Mike turns on the pickup and takes off.
It was blind panic, white knuckles. We went down the road about a quarter of a mile, and I hit the brakes. And the guys in the truck were saying, what are you stopping for? That thing could be chasing us, you know? And I said, we left Travis back there. So we had to go back. That's when I became hysterical, basically.
Exactly. You don't
It
know
must have
where
been
it was.
crazy
Hands
because you were
come back
dealing
and
with
get him.
stuff that you
While
didn't
we
know
were
that was
outside
going
of the
on.
truck, we saw a flash.
Who?
Now, I assumed it was that craft.
Just in a street, just like that.
Everybody got their courage back till we saw it take off.
Couldn't leave Travis out there. You just don't leave a guy behind.
Except you
We
did.
went back.
Except he wasn't around.
We walked around the perimeter, looking in the bushes and that, you know, and see if he'd maybe crawled off.
Travis! Travis! Travis!
But he was nowhere to be found.
That's when Mike, he kind of fell down to the ground and kind of lost it.
I broke down. I broke down because Travis wasn't there. He was my best friend.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Your friend could say, where the fuck were you? Getting thrown by unforeseen objects and you
Guilt-ridden.
bail?
Terrified.
Right?
And
He
in way over their heads,
didn't phone
crew
home that
members
day.
decide to call law enforcement for help.
We
This is
all got
before-
back in the truck and we left.
Before cell phones or any of that shit. They had to go find a
That
payphone.
was a very, very emotional trip.
Imagine the silence
There's
in that
this
fucking
phone
car.
substation as we get coming off the dirt road.
Crazy.
And called the sheriff's department.
The first officer arriving on scene is Navajo County Sheriff's Deputy Chuck Ellison.
They were obviously very upset. And I tried to get just as close to each one of them as I could to see if I could detect odors of marijuana or alcohol.
Some
I
drugs,
didn't
huh?
detect any.
Yeah.
Sensing something amiss, Ellison talks to each member of the crew, starting with foreman Mike Rogers.
Mike, he was the boss, you know. He called the shots, said how things go, where you gonna go, you know, and all that.
The missing man, Travis Walton, dated Mike's sister, Dana.
Damn.
Also on the crew is Mike's brother-in-law, John Goulet.
John's the kind of person that gets along with everybody.
I've known Travis for a long, long time. I met him when I was a teenager when I came up there to stay with Katie and Mike.
Goulet brought two other friends onto the crew, Dwayne Smith and Alan Dallas.
Alan Dallas was might say the black sheep of the crew.
He was a character. He
looked like a hippie, huh?
You know, he had his run-ins with the law and that, you know.
Rounding out the crew are 26-year-old Kenny Peterson and 17-year-old Steve Pierce.
These guys were young.
I
No,
was the gopher, you know, because I was the youngest.
Yep.
When the frightened crew members tell Deputy Ellison that Travis was attacked by a UFO, Ellison calls in his superior, Sheriff Marlon Gillespie.
Marlon Gillespie was my father. He was the sheriff of Navajo County for many years. At the time that the incident occurred, they called my father out to involve him and other deputies.
Sheriff Gillespie showed up, and we told him what happened, and he was looking around for beer bottles and stuff because he didn't really believe our story.
He
course
thought
not.
that these men saw something. That part he believed because he said they were scared, but he wasn't sure, were they scared because of what they had done, or were they really scared because what they believed that Travis had been taken by a UFO?
by them aliens.
He looked at Mike, he says, you got to go back, and I want 2 volunteers to come back with me. The other 3, I want you to go back to Snowflake and don't leave town.
Mike Rogers, Alan Dallas, and Kenny Peterson lead the sheriff and his deputies to the site. There's no trace of Travis or the alleged craft.
I could not see a skid mark of any kind, like as if some kind of aircraft had touched on the ground. I could not see a footprint of any kind. I couldn't detect any odors. I didn't see any burns. And I said, well, we may as well leave because he's not here.
Without industrial lighting equipment or a huge force of officers, the small-town sheriff's hands are tied. You'll have to wait until morning to launch a search party to find out if Travis Walton is injured, dead, or is it possible that he was abducted by aliens?
So, as the story goes, right,
Uh-huh.
he came back, a couple days later, and he was able to call his girlfriend, and they found him, naked, and he had all kinds of, marks on his body and everything like that. And so, I don't know, this was a very interesting, abduction because there was physical evidence on him, right?
Yep.
He remembered some of the stuff that happened to him, talking about, being abducted by the Greys and, stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a very interesting case. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Well, I've dug into this case, and he talks about meeting what he understood as humans, actual humans that were on the ship. So he saw both Greys and he saw humans. And the humans, he said, physically appeared human, but he could tell we're not acting like any human on planet Earth ever acted like. And I can't remember if he remembered if he was saying that there was communication telepathically. Like he just knew, like when they would say, come with me, that there was some communication on some other level that didn't have to deal with speech. And I remember, if I remember correctly, it was both the Greys and the
Human-like entities.
Human-like entities. That there was a communication happening that didn't require vocalization. Almost like it was telepathic, or if not telepathic, on some some other kind of, level of communication. Maybe it's
Hmm.
not their brain doing it. Maybe they have a device that somehow takes brain waves and converts them into some kind of energy that then goes through. I don't know, but it's a fascinating story. And the reason it's so fascinating, I think, is for a lot of the reasons we've talked about that make this one so unique. Multiple witnesses of the
Hmm.
abduction. That's rare. That one's rare. Um, you'll hear of people being abducted in a group, like I forget their name, the famous one, the Betty and her husband or whatever were taken
Oh,
together.
Betty and Barney.
Barney, yeah, you'll hear of group abductions or you'll hear of singular abductions or but you very rarely have abductions where there was a witness to the abduction itself that was left behind. It's almost as if the aliens got sloppy,
Right?
right? Because why did they leave those other humans there? And we have heard of them doing some kind of memory erase, time erasure
Hmm.
around other abductions. They can get people and essentially kind of wipe those memories away. Why didn't they do it in this case? They had to have seen the truck. The way the craft was there too, it was as if. And remember, what the fuck made Travis get out of that vehicle? Because I
Hmm.
can't remember when I've read about this story if he even had an answer for that question.
Yeah.
Because there had to have been a question at some point that someone said, "Hey, Travis, why the fuck did you leave your homies in that truck and go make a beeline straight for that UFO?" Because
Yeah.
everyone else seemed to act appropriate to the situation. Why did you act unappropriate?
Yeah. Why'd you get out?
And it's like I said, almost like he was called, almost like he was saying, "Hey, come here." I mean, it almost reminds me of like an alien abduction, like a child molester van, right? Hey,
Hmm.
little kid, we got candy over here. Which of you little kids want some of this candy? And then you go rolling over there, and like
It's snatched
the
up.
smart kids know that man's candy ain't worth what is inside that fucking van, right?
Hey, what is this? It?
Yeah, like that van, that I mean, kids just inherently know. I think in some instances, if they've had even a little bit of time in the real world, something about that van don't look right. Something about that guy offering that candy don't look right. Something about that guy saying he's got a doggy that he wants us to pet don't look, just feel right, right?
Yeah.
Um, so why? Why were the aliens or the entities, whatever they were, so goddamn messy with this situation? They usually don't leave witnesses or
Yeah.
witnesses that can remember, or if there's a group of them, they just take them all and deal with it in that way, right? Why did they leave them?
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I think what's interesting, right? They picked him up and then they dropped him off later.
What was it, like 7 days?
Something like that. It was a couple days later. Yeah. I don't remember exactly when it was.
So, and like we've talked about, when you actually start looking at the statistics, you find that there's a lot of missing people that end up missing in very remote wilderness areas. Remember, we've seen videos on this before.
Yeah.
Why are there so many people that go missing? One, yes, statistically, in the vast raw wildernesses of our country or of the earth, it's easy for people to get lost in those situations. Even, shit happens. Um, Stuff happens, right? You fall, you break your leg, you have a stroke. I mean, who knows? Shit happens. But if any of those missing people are a result of alien abductions, we got to assume that they were not returned because they didn't show back
Yeah.
up. So why did they do this so messy? Why did they return it? Because they were out in a wilderness area. Why, could it be? that if Travis had been out there alone and he was abducted, that he would have just became one of those statistics and never returned. Could the
Never came
aliens have
back.
been
Yeah.
like, hey, we had witnesses, guys. We probably should put this one back.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Lots of strange questions. Will we
There's
get
a
answers
lot.
to it ever?
Nope. I don't think
Probably
so.
not. But
Probably
this kind of
not.
reminds me of that very famous one in Pascagoula, Mississippi, where the two fishermen, the two Southern boys were fishing, and they got taken by the creatures that look like robots. I don't know if you know that one yet,
Oh, I don't
but
know.
we'll look that up. It's really, really fascinating. They did drawings.
Did
They
they
don't look like
return?
standard
And
aliens.
they returned?
Yeah, it's very
Huh.
interesting. And these guys, were Christian fearing, didn't believe in anything like that. And here they are, got presented with a situation where they got abducted, right?
Wow.
So we can look at that one next. That's a good one.
How long were they out for?
I want to say like a day. It wasn't very long.
So
Yeah.
it makes you wonder. Well, we've talked about this with Reggie too. Like, are there different factions?
Oh
Reggie
yeah.
would. I could hear Reggie's voice in my head saying, "Yeah, of course, man. There's this, there's that, there's that." So there's the different factions. Then even crazier, we get down to like when we were talking about the theories about the statistically how many people go missing. Maybe there's a deal with the governments
Government.
of the
Yeah.
United States where they say, "Hey, you guys can take a certain percentage of people a year, a certain percentage, but they can't be out in the open. If they're visible, if they're in our cities, can't do that.
Yeah.
You can take these people that are in these vast remote wilderness areas where there's no witnesses, take them, take a certain percentage of them for your studies. You don't have to return them, but in order to keep our populace under control and in line, we'll lose control, and
Hmm.
we can't do that. So if you want humans for study or humans for projects, got to be in these remote areas, the remote Alaskan wilderness, the remote Arizona wilderness, the remote northern New Mexico wilderness, all those areas. Um, and maybe that explains it. Maybe the aliens were actually slipping. Maybe they'd had a little bit too much of that alien tequila. And they
Right.
saw a guy and they said, let's fucking take it. And then they do their deal and then they realize, oh, wait, dude, we went back to the cameras and there was a whole carload of these fuckers.
Right.
We got to return this fool, man. Like there's probably like a big fight that happened a few days later where
Right.
one alien gray told the alien gray, you fucking idiot. You should have taken them all.
Right.
We were partying with the tequila, man. Well, now we got to return the fucker.